Hello Hunters, Autobot Dawson here, ready to roll out a new video for you. And in today, we're going to be doing an updated Elemental Dual Blades build guide now that Title Update 4 has arrived here in Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. If you enjoy the guide, liking the video and subscribing would be extremely helpful to me. Alright you guys, so while I was at work today, I was looking on YouTube and I seen a lot of videos going over the new skill Dragon Conversion and completely changing up the Dual Blades builds. And while that's fine and dandy, it does require the use of an additional gimmick to get your attack. So what I wanted to do, because there's really no point in me making a video about that anyway, since they're already out there, what I want to do is show you my preferred build now that Title Update 4 is here, which takes a more traditional Elemental Dual Blades approach. However, thanks to some new goodness in Title Update 4, we are able to add several skills that I didn't have in the build before to make this build even more impactful and powerful in end-game activities. Okay, first of all, a couple of ground things to lay out here. I'm going to be going over all the armor pieces, how I augmented them, each decoration slot, and I'm also going to be letting you all know that for this example, I'm going to be using my water build. However, I use the same armor pieces for all 5 elemental builds. So that's the point of this. I want it to be as straightforward to follow as possible. Because of that, I made these 5 armor pieces work for all 5 of my elemental builds. Water, fire, dragon, thunder, and ice. So whenever you see a water decoration, just simply switch that out for the other 4 elements to make your other 4 elemental builds. Alright, so for your weapon, choose any dual blades that you like. That's not really sort of an element of the build, so to speak, but a general rule of thumb would be to try to pick one that at least has a decent jewel slots and decent elemental attack for each of the 5 elements. Now that we're getting into the armor, I just want to show you guys before we get into the skills themselves that I am using the Silver Rathalos helmet, the Risen Teostra chest piece, the Golden Rathian gauntlets, the Risen Kushala Deora waist, and the Risen Crimson Glow Valstrax boots, which are new to this update. Okay, so that is what I'm using, and I am also using a talisman with +3 attack boost, +1 critical element, and a jewel slot that allows me to basically put in another skill. So let's start here with the talisman so that it all makes sense for you. So, the way that you're going to want to get your talisman is to look at my other video that I have on Aurora melding if you're confused about it, but basically it's very simple. You go to the where you meld your jewels, pick Aurora melding, choose the skill you want, and essentially keep farming those until you get a good roll. For the particular this build that I'm doing, if you want to copy it exactly, you're going to at least want to have an attack boost level 3, which is not very hard to do. Just select attack boost and you'll get one to pop out. It usually doesn't take too many tries. That said, as for critical element and critical eye on here, you're going to find that there are a lot of amazing comfort skills in this build thanks to Title Update 4. So there's going to be plenty of room for you to sacrifice stuff and make this build your own. And because we're going to touch on what is the stuff you absolutely need. And I promise you, with this armor setup, you will absolutely have room for everything that is essential. And hopefully some of the comfy stuff that I use as well. So that's the talisman I use. Now let's get into the armor itself. So, on our Silver Rathalos helmet here, we use Skills Plus Augmentation pretty much on all of these. Yes, it does lower your resistances, however, it's the fastest way to get good skills. So we took away a level of Windproof and added a level of Weakness Exploit, which is going to now give us the following skills on this helmet, because in our decoration slots we have a Wirebug Whisperer level 4 deco, which gives us Wirebug Whisperer level 2, Great skill to have for comfort for dual blades, give you those wire bugs back quickly. We also have an Intrepid Heart level 1 decoration. This is an absolutely amazing jewel that I highly recommend you using. This is new to Title Update 4, and this skill is essentially an amazing defensive skill that if you didn't know, you build up a meter, and then that meter, once it's full, and you fill it up by attacking, that meter, once full, gives you additional defense and prevents you from getting knocked back once and the meter resets. If you have it at level 2, which I do in this build, it also detonates an explosion when that occurs. So it's a great skill to have, and it's only a 1 slot in this expansion. We also have a Iron Shell Jewel on for a level of Kushala Blessing, which gives us bonus water attack and ice attack. And so, counting those 3 decorations, along with our augment for weakness exploit and the skills that come default on Silver Rathalos helmet, we have 2 levels of critical boost, a level of critical element, 2 levels of windproof, 2 levels of wirebug whisperer, 1 level of intrepid heart, 1 level of Kushala blessing, 1 level of weakness exploit on this helmet alone. Guys, that is amazing. And I want to point out, critical element and critical boost I would consider essential skills for this build. Wirebug whisperer, intrepid heart, and Kushala blessing I would consider comfort. Weakness exploit I would also consider essential, and then windproof is actually just extra on here. That just came on the armor. For the Risen Teostra chest piece, we augmented Powder Mantle in favor of Wind Mantle, which can now that's the Kushala Deora skill, which you can now get on Curious Armor Crafting. I highly recommend you do so. I also got an additional slot out of my augment, just so you all are aware. So I'm being transparent and showing you everything I did. And what Wind Mantle is going to do is essentially when you use a wirebug attack, your wirebugs now recharge faster. For my decorations, I basically have 2 critical eye decos and a water attack deco on. And so combining everything, I have weakness exploit level 2, critical eye level 4, water attack level 1, and wind mantle level 1 here on this chest piece. Weakness exploit, critical eye, and of course water attack, and again sub in water for all 5 elements are essential skills. Wind mantle, while I do consider it a comfort skill for this build, I highly recommend you run a level 1 of it, because I'm telling you, it will make your wirebugs come back so much faster, thus increasing your overall DPS with Spiral Slash, and giving you access to your ever so valuable Shrouded Vault counter and Silk your Iron Shine Silk to keep your sharpness up more often. Okay, on our Golden Wrath gauntlets, our augment took away critical boost and gave us critical element and quick sheath, because we didn't need another critical boost. And quick sheath was just on here as extra. I kept this augment because of critical element. So quick sheath is not really essential for this build at all. Critical element is an essential skill. And for our decorations, and I'll show these on the decoration screen in a moment as I'm recording this in real time, we have a new jewel, which is a burst 4 decoration, giving us 2 levels of burst. This is one of the big things that's new in Title Update 4 that's great for dual blades builds. Previously, there was only a 2-slot deco for burst, which only gave you 1 level of it. Now, being able to get 2 levels of it in 1 slot consolidates that skills, and guys, consolidating your skills into as few slots as possible is what gives you room for comfort skills. So, without further ado, we also have a critical eye jewel on, and our other intrepid heart jewel, giving us level 2 of that in our build. And so we have peak performance, a skill that's just extra on here, not even needed. Level 3 of burst just on this 1 pair of gauntlets, and that is amazing. Burst is absolutely an essential skill for this build. It's going to increase your damage big time. Another level of critical eye, another level of intrepid heart, and of course the level of critical element. For our Risen Kushala Waist, we have on our augment, we got rid of a level of Kushala Blessing because we have the level 1 decoration we can easily slot. And we have a level of critical eye instead to round out our build, because we do need 7 levels of critical eye ideally. We also got an additional 1 slot from our augment. Always take advantage of that when you can. Slotted in, we have a water attack 3 and iron, the Kushala deco, the 1 slot deco there, the iron deco, and affinity sliding. So, this armor piece, with that all considered, still has 2 levels of Kushala Blessing, putting us at level 3, which means not only do we get plus 10% water and ice attack, but more importantly, and this is why I use it for all 5 elements, we now have the ability to recover health when our health is recovering beyond the portion of our red gauge. So what that means is when you get hit and you have that red part of your health gauge, that's what will naturally recover over time. Kushala Blessing at level 3 in your build will allow it to recover all the way to the end of your health bar. Very good comfort skill for survivability, and while it's not essential, I definitely recommend it because you're already going to need 2 levels for water and ice builds anyway for the extra attack. You might as well throw on 1 more 1 slot and complete, get to level 3 for more comfort. We also have attack boost level 2 here on this piece. We have recovery up level 3, which literally just came on the waist. And while it is a comfort skill, it synergizes amazing with Kushala Blessing level 3. So if you're going to use one, I recommend using both, because that'll just increase your health recovery dramatically. And of course we have water attack level 3 from our decoration. And we have affinity sliding. Another comfort skill that's not essential, however I put it in my build because what it's going to do is give you plus 30 affinity just for sliding for a few seconds. So slide before you go into battle when possible, and you'll get extra affinity. It's absolutely amazing. It gives my Dark Aurora Plus like 85% affinity at the beginning of a battle before I even utilize any of my weakness exploit skills. Definitely recommend it. And for our final piece of armor, we have the brand new Risen Crimson Glow Valstrax legs. Our augment on these took away stun resistance by 1 level, which means we still have 2 levels of stun resistance. A great comfort skill. Gave us tune-up, which is, again, just kind of a bonus that we got on our augment just by chance. Don't need that at all for this build. Element Exploit is the reason we kept this augment, because when I combine Element Exploit with another great new decoration, which is an Element Exploit 4 deco giving us 2 levels of Element Exploit, we now cover all 3 levels of Element Exploit in just 1 armor piece. Amazing! A lot of meta builds will only recommend you use level 1 of Element Exploit. However, using level 3 and getting those extra 5% boost is going to be amazing, you guys, when you can do it. And when you have as much room as this build I'm showing you guys gives you, it's absolutely worth it to go ahead and do it because you're just increasing your attack by that much more. We also have a wirebug whisperer decoration on, giving us our final level of wirebug whisperer, 3 levels of element exploit, 2 more levels of attack boost finishing out that for us, 2 levels of stun resistance, another comfort skill, and our final level of critical boost, rounding that out for us. And so when you combine all this together, here's what our skills look like at the end of the day. By the way, guys, I've had a long day at work. If I sound scatterbrained, I'm sorry, but I really wanted to get this build video out today before it is too late. So, attack boost maxed out at level 7. Critical eye maxed out at level 7. Water attack maxed out at level 5. Critical boost maxed out at level 3. Weakness exploit maxed out at level 3. Critical element maxed out at level 3. Element exploit maxed out at level 3. And burst maxed out at level 3. I would consider those your essential skills. Now again, remember, water attack, by that I mean water attack for this build, fire for fire, thunder for thunder, dragon for dragon, ice for ice. The ones I just listed out loud verbally, I consider essential skills. Now, comfort skills. We have 3 levels of recovery up, that's max. 3 levels of Kushala Blessing, because that's all we need to get the ability I was telling you guys about. 3 levels of Wirebug Whisperer to give us our Wirebugs back. 2 levels of Windproof, which just kind of came on one of our armor pieces. 2 levels of Stun Resistance, again, just came on our armor. A Peak Performance and a Quick Sheath, both just came on our armor and are not actually part of the build. Intrepid Heart is part of the build at level 2, as is an absolutely amazing skill. It has bailed me out a million times since I've been using it. Highly recommend this skill. And then Affinity Sliding, maxed out at level 1. A Tune-Up, which we don't need. And then a Wind Mantle at level 1, which is another great comfort skill that allows you to, in fact, have your wirebugs quite often. Very essential for dual blades. So to summarize again, our essential skills are attack boost 7, critical eye 7, water attack or other element attack 5, critical boost 3, weakness exploit 3, critical element 3, element exploit 3, burst 3, and then our comfort skills that we actually love to have in the build are recovery up 3, Kushala blessing 3, wirebug whisperer 3, intrepid heart 2, affinity sliding 1, wind mantle 1, and stun resistance 2. And then extra skills that we just happen to have through augmentation and armor is windproof 2, peak performance 1, quick sheath 1, tune up 1. So you have plenty of room to play with this and make it your own, guys, and hopefully by stating the different skills there, I was actually able to explain which ones are essential, which ones are for comfort, and which ones are just sort of extra skills that got tagged along due to augmentation. So use your skills plus augmentation when possible, or use your normal augmentation if you have the materials and want to avoid the negative elemental resistance. Although, I will say, thanks to Intrepid Heart, Recovery Up, Kushala Blessing, you're not going to have much trouble staying alive if you're playing smart, thanks to this build. This build gives you great attack, a lot of crit damage, a lot of elemental damage, and a lot of defensive prowess that allows you to stay alive, and the ability to use your wirebugs more often. And I've been having a blast with this build. It has a wealth of great skills, and is definitely the most powerful I've felt so far in Sunbreak. Loving this build, can't recommend it enough, and I hope you guys like it. Before I sign off on today's video, I just want to thank you all again for watching. I know there's been a lot of words in here, so feel free to rewatch the video and slow it down if you need to, and definitely feel free to comment down below with any questions you have that my jargon didn't answer. I'll be sure to clear it up for you because I'm sure there is an answer. Finally, I want to show you the actual decorations that I used just so that you all can see them on screen. So I'm just going to scroll through these towards the end of the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to take any screenshots or anything like that that you need. And this will be Autobot Dawson rolling out until next time.